Welcome back to Randy Reviews. Today we're going to be once again talking about movies that have influenced me, positive or negative. Today we're going to be talking about a movie that has probably had the most impact on my life. A movie that I feel is one of the greatest love stories, one of the greatest rom-coms of all time in my opinion. And today we're going to be talking about the Disney Pixar movie Cars. So let me set a setting for you to how I even stumbled upon the movie Cars, how it even graced its presence upon me. It was about 4 or 5 years ago, and I was about 21 year old. And it was 4th of July, man. And I literally drunk my last course, just pulled it out of the fridge and drunk it. And I was a little too buzzed to walk to the gas station at that point. And I didn't have no friends to hang out with, get some beer for me, because they were all on spring break with their SKU buddies, partying with their SKU buddies with their what they call freight. And they are all in places like Panama City and Cuba, and I'm pretty sure somebody went to Australia or something, man. I don't know where they go for spring break with frats, with the SKUs, but that's where they were. And I was by myself, and I couldn't drive to the gas station because I recently had lost my license to a car accident recently, and so there's a lot of accumulating, and I was feeling a little bit more down than usual because I just recently lost my girlfriend to said accident, and she just got really pissed because I wrecked her car and totaled the car, and she overreacted and said some things that were hurtful. And I told her she was saying things that were hurtful, and then she got just real pissed and broke up with me. But shit happens, and people overreact, and you can't really control what they do after that. But anyway, there's just an accumulation of reasons why I was feeling quite lonely on that particular 4th of July. So, I'm just sitting there bored and just like, oh shit, I ain't got no more chords, man. I don't know what I'm going to do. And so I guess I'll just turn on the Netflix and watch a movie. And this is before there was, them Disney Pluses or HBO Maxes, This is just when you had Netflix and Hulu. And there was Hulu Plus, but then that just turned into Hulu. So that's technically all you had was Hulu and Netflix, and my Hulu subscription done run out, so I was like, Netflix it is, because I use my mom's. So I turned on the Netflix and was looking at the most popular searches, because typically people have good taste in movies on Netflix, so I'm going to go see what they recommend, what people are watching. So I like to be in the loop too, so that helps. So I'm going to do popular searches, and I see this movie called Cars. And funny enough, actually I had NASCAR or Cars per se on my brain already, because I've been watching Dale Jr. tributes around for his retirement, and that led me to watching some Dale races, and so I already had NASCAR or Cars on the brain already. And so I scroll down to it. I'm excited. I'm like, shit, this seems like a good, I love cars, so this seems like good potential. So I click on it, and the poster thing, picture, and the description pops up when I click on it. And I'm like, well, goddamn, this is for 12-year-olds. I got deceived. Like, I ain't gonna watch no 12-year-old cartoon Disney Pixar movie, Like, I can watch Big Boy Cars on the Big Boy Racetrack on YouTube, or on ESPN or whatever. If they have NASCAR, they're racing at the time. But I'm like, I want to watch something new because I've done new and something that had some feeling and some emotion and some comedy and some action, something that I could relate to. Also, I really wanted something with that three mixes of action, love, and comedy. And I done gone and watched Mortal Kombat and Black Hawk Down like 50 times that week. So I'm like, I really need to watch something new. And I just decided, I'm going to just smoke a little weed and hit play and just see what happens, man. It's got cars, NASCAR, man, Talladega, and so I grabbed my little pop can that was next to me. I just got done drinking Mountain Dew, and they got my little screwdriver keep next to me and poke some holes in my little Mountain Dew can, made a little Mountain Dew bong, and got my little gram, sprinkled some on my Mountain Dew bowl, made my Mountain Dew bong, and I smoked a little bowl, hit play, and let me tell you, this car's movie. It's not for kids. It's not for 12-year-olds. And I'll tell you why right now. So you can understand going into this, if you're a kid watching or whatever, that you're not going to understand it. You're not going to get it. Because kids can't understand the complexities of love, friendship, and heartache, and turmoil, and like these NASCAR cars feel in these movies. Like, they're not going to be able to comprehend it because they're too immature. Like, I'm mature. At this point, I've done got rid of my NASCAR bed like 3 years before at this point. So like, I've already gone through a lot of life emotions. I've had heartache losing my girlfriend. I've had heartache losing my license recently. I've had heartache, Dale retiring, Dale Jr. retiring. There's a lot of these things I were experiencing recently, so it's fresh in my mind. And kids just haven't gone through all that yet. They ain't lost no license, or girls at that point when they're 12. So they just won't get it, man. But I hit play, and right off the bat, it's just pure speed, man. I'm telling you, them NASCAR cars, people cars, man, they're just getting it, man. You can feel the vibrations from your TV as soon as you turn it on. They're just getting it. And out of all them cars that are getting it, they zoom into this one car, man. He's got red paint. He's got lightning bolt decals going down the sides. He's got a lot of sponsorship decals on his cars, so he's good, man, because he's sponsored, man. People want their brand on his car, man. And god damn, man, he was getting it. I mean, he was just fucking zooming, zipping. He was hitting them corners and them straightaways, man. He was drafting, cutting in and out of people, cutting off lanes, man. Actually, man, like, I just watched that. I'm like, man, this actually reminds me of a young Dale Jr., man. Like, when he first got into it, Budweiser car, man. But anyway, I'm watching this, and so I'm hooked right off the bat, man. I'm like, you start off with some amazing racing, you got me right then and there. But he wins the race, and you can tell he's good after the race too, because he's got all the girls, he's got all the fans. Like, there's these two like twin girl cars that take pictures with him. And he's just got it all, man. People envy him, like, just like a young Dale Jr., man. And so big race is coming up after he won that one, and he gets in his truck trailer, and this part I always liked when I heard it for the first couple times. This truck called Mac. It's a Mack truck called Mac, and it always gives me a little kick. But he gets him back to Mac. He gets in the trailer, and they start traveling. And poor old Mac, man, he's always on the interstate and highways, man. He's always going. so he don't get no sleep really. And sure enough, man, he starts to doze off. And see, this is another reason this movie ain't for kids, because this scene right here is really intense. And like, it's just something I wouldn't show my kids, man. But Mac, he actually dozes off on the interstate, and he accidentally opens the back of his trailer, man. And sure enough, poor old Lightning, he's asleep too, because man, he's worn himself out. He's been racing all day, man. And he must not had his like any blockers under the wheels, or parking like an e-brake or something pulled up, and he just started rolling slowly out that back of that trailer, man. And sure enough, man, he completely rolls out on the interstate. And then Mac, he like wakes up because he heard a car horn or something, and you know, he's startled, but he don't pay no attention that behind him is Lightning. Like, buddy, you're driving off without your race car, man. But he don't know no better, man. He don't see it, so he's gone. He's zipped down the interstate, and the one of the scariest scenes to me is when Lightning realizes he's on the interstate, man. His car's flying out, honking, yelling or whatever, honking. And so his eyes pop open, and he just starts to frantically drive. He's just like, it's like a oh man moment, you know, when you realize you're in some trouble and you just go, oh man, and you don't know what to do. And he just starts bucking it down the interstate, man. He's scared. He's just frantically just going everywhere, man. And then he goes down this little highway because he thinks, you know, maybe I can get some help. Maybe I can go down this little highway and like find somebody to help me get to the big race, you know. Because he don't know where he's in NASCAR, man. He don't really drive on the road. He just drives on the track, man. And he gets him back at Mac. He don't know where he don't got no nav system, man. So he gets to this town called Rare Springs, and it's this little old town. This little old looked like a little old western, like small town kind of thing. And there's all kinds of characters in this Rare Springs, man. Like there's this French dude with a mustache. He sells tires. There's this old NASCAR man. He's the mayor. He's called Doc. There's this man. There's this tow truck. He's played by Larry Cable Guy, man. You know, Get Her Done. And man, they call him Tow Mater. he's a tow truck, man. I always get a kick out of that. And I love Larry, man. But you know, there's all these characters like that, man. They're diverse characters, and they're funny, and they got special things to them. But you know, here comes Lightning, man. He's like, hey, I need one of y'all to get me back to the race, man. And they're all kind of mad at him because, you know, he's acting like a big shot, and you know, he does some things to anger them, and he breaks the road and all that stuff, man. And among those characters, you know, the diverse character, here comes this beautiful looking car, man. I mean, beautiful looking car. It was a Porsche, man. And a bluish colored Porsche comes along, man, and you can tell right away that Porsche is probably going to be the love interest in this movie. Like, you weren't 100% sure, but you're pretty positive at that point, man, because when Lightning looked at her, man, he was smitten with her. Right off the bat, man, she had him on the hook. She was just reeling him in. As soon as he laid his headlight eyes things on her, you can tell he was smitten. He stood no chance after that, man. But this girl, you know, she's something special, because she's a lawyer. Like, she's from the city, but she's got these like small town values, and you know, she helps out her community. She has this hotel. It's made out of cones, man. It's pretty funny, but she got this hotel she runs is made out of cones. And yeah, man, so she's like a city girl, but she got these small town values, and she loves this small town and her community. So she's kind of like a hybrid, man. City girl, country girl, city girl, you know what I mean? So she's like this hybrid, and she's got class because she's Porsche, and you know, she seems she seems not to be fazed by, lightning's charm. He's trying to show off for everybody. He's going ka-choo everywhere, ka-choo, going fast, and he ain't impressing nobody, man. He's just making a fool out of himself, Nobody knows who he is. And she gives him a talking to, man. And he starts to, like, kind of, begin to, like, vibe with these backwood townfolk cars. Yeah, man, he starts to vibe with her out of the most. And, he has some back and forth. He's going through these developments with these people. And, he comes best friends with Tow Mater, which I love. After they fix the road stuff, he helps them out. But I really want to focus on the love story and just the overall romance and love overall. So I'm going to kind of tell you how it ends right now with his racing career, man. He gets back to the big race after he helps out the town, and town helps him. So he gets back to this big race, and he finally races and he wins, man. It's amazing. I mean, typically in my life, I would spend more time on the racing, but I deem that the love is more important in this situation, in this movie. The love is what changed my life, man. So yeah, man, that's how that ends, man. He wins. But going back to his relationships in the town, man, they all start to give him reality checks. It's like, hey, man, you act like you know all this stuff, but you don't know nothing, man. He starts to learn these values, man, these values from these different characters, man. But the most important one is the values he learns from the Porsche. Like, she really takes a hold of him. You can tell she's so good for him, man. She's so good for him. I mean, it feels like how I thought my relationship with my girl was for it, man. She just got too over dramatic. But anyway, yeah, man, she was just so good for him. She's so good for him, man. And she starts to level his head, show him reality a little bit, and it makes you feel emotions you probably haven't felt before, or you thought you felt with somebody, but you realize you don't have that connection between him and that Porsche. It's not, you never had anything as real as what they had, Lightning McQueen had, and it just warms my heart, and so they eventually become boyfriend girlfriend car, and she teaches him that people don't need to love you just because you're flashy, and you got all these races and these sponsors. You got the best sponsors, and you're on TV, and you got these lightning boats, and you go ka-choo, and you go fast, man. That's not why people love you, man. That's not why people respect you. It's because of who you are deep down underneath your car. What's inside your car is what matters. You can have all that flashy paint and all that on the outside, but that don't mean nothing, man. It's about what's in your car. And he learns this from her, but also from the other characters and the other cars in the town of Radiator Springs. And he starts, he finally realizes it, and he gains this big respect for her, man, and the people of this small town he thought he was too good for, I mean, it just makes me feel, when I think about it, man, goddamn. But yeah, it's very complex, man. It's stuff you have to have you thought you have felt before. And it's not just the love between him and her that warms my heart, man. it's the love of this small town coming together. And, you know, you got all these different characters. You got this French dude. You got Tow Mater. You know, you got Doc. You got Porsche. You know, you got all these different characters who come from different backgrounds, man, and they all you know, come in this town and it don't matter no more. They're family. Once you get there, you show your insides to them. They're your family, and I think that's so special. And it's just something I've been striving for too. That's why that hits me hard when I feel those emotions and I see those things. So, you know, it just makes this dynamic of this movie so much more than what it is. Like, I haven't seen complexity in any other movie like this when it comes to showing it's all about who you are on the inside and doesn't matter where you come from. And when I'm just alone, man, I start to think back on Cars. It makes me feel some sad emotion because of how my life is right now without my girl. But, you know, I have my friends, love my friends, but I realized something, man. I realized if NASCAR cars people can find love, then we all can find love. That's what I've realized from all this, and that's my big takeaway, and I hope that's the message you can find in Cars if you give it a chance. If you don't believe what I say, then fuck you. I can't control that you're a stupid ass and stupid head dummy. That ain't my problem. And fuck your opinion anyway. But yeah, that's all I gotta really say about that, man. I love Cars, and I think if you give Cars a chance, man, it's gonna make you feel things about your life, your friends, your girlfriend. If you're a big lover of Dale Jr., man, it makes you feel, it makes you feel things about Dale Jr. But yeah, that's all I gotta say about that. I hope you all enjoy Cars, man. Oh man, god damn it, Dale, why can't you just done 2 or 3 more races, bud? Fuck.